Two Wheels is proudly powered by Broadlink, delivering serious bandwidth for serious business.
We all seem to be watching far too much TV lately, so instead of sitting around on your butt on the sofa, why don't you get out and come to an amazing place like this military museum, situated right at the side of Johannesburg Zoo, so there's no excuse not to find it. By now you must be thinking, well, why, if you're riding a motorbike, would you come here? Well, we have the latest Kawasaki W800, which is also steeped in history. And Two Wheels has been given permission on a one-off basis to ride around the museum on this bike. So we're going to get around here, explore some of these superb exhibits, and also test the new Kawasaki W800.
This is the original advert from the late 60s from Japan of the W650. But more interestingly, in 1960, the Kawasaki Aircraft Company actually bought Meguro, which was a motorcycle company. They had a license to produce BSA motorcycles. So there's the similarity. So when people say it looks like a BSA, there's good reason for it. Big 800cc parallel twin in the modern version, but it used to be a 650. And if you're confused about the W, it is actually the W series. That's what this means. The only relation to Kawasaki is across the seat with that beautiful gold writing. It is certainly a quality machine, and let's mention it costs 107,000 Rand. But just look at this retro styling right down to TT100 Dunlop tyres. Anyone out there remember those? And if you do, you'll remember the rubber tank pads for when the bike used to vibrate like crazy in the old days, but it doesn't anymore because inside that engine is a counter-rotating balance shaft. Super smooth engine nowadays. The military museum is beautifully kept and maintained. And even today, people lay down great respect for those that have fallen in the past. Certainly sad and heartwarming. But the W800 cheered me up after seeing all those wreaths laid. It is so easy to ride, even perfect for a beginner. Which I suppose I am. And look at the collection at this museum. Half-track aeroplanes from new and old era. The W800, interestingly, has a bevel-driven camshaft. One of them, which we believe could have been copied from early Nortons or any of the old British range. That's certainly not British, is it? And is that the scariest thing you've ever seen? That is a one-man submarine. Horrifying. And that is a Mirage jet, made in France, but later made in South Africa for our very own Air Force. And that is certainly a mean jet. And apparently could break the sound barrier in level flight. Which the W800 certainly won't, but it will get to the far side of 180 kilometers an hour. And it's ideal for threading through these tanks, so you can imagine how easy it is to ride while commuting on a daily basis. Perfect fuel injection and low centre of gravity. An absolute joy to drive, which I can't imagine that was to sit in. That's a Sherman Firefly, that, with a giant gun. There is so much to see, you don't actually need a motorcycle to come here. And that is a McDonnell Douglas DC-3, commonly known as the Dakota, which is still in service in many parts of the world, even today. There she is, the beautiful W800, now available through Kawasaki dealers in South Africa. Private Hunter, reporting for duty.
Certainly an interesting bike, the old Kawasaki W800, and I'm sure it's going to sell well to certain people, and I certainly adore it. Wouldn't mind one myself. But before I sign off this time, I just have to tell you about this. This must be probably the rarest airplane in the world. It's a Messerschmitt 262, which was the first operational jet fighter, but this one is a two-seater night fighter. Only went up in the air for a matter of minutes. Must have been the scariest thing ever when men were meant to climb in this. But can you believe it? Only 15 were made, and this is the only surviving one left in the entire world. So it's well worth a visit to come to this fabulous museum just to see this alone.